Welcome to the deep dive. Today we've got quite a set of sources in front of us. They're from Astrologie Quotidienne et Failles Tectoniques, and we're really focusing in on the pretty intense celestial stuff happening around November 7th, 2025.
That's right. We're looking beyond just the stars, aren't we? It's about stability, secrets, the very structures of your life.
Exactly. Feels like the ground might be shifting a bit. This deep dive is all about that feeling.
Mm-hmm. And our sources, they give us sort of two layers here for this period of, let's call it cosmic reckoning. You've got the technical data, the transits, the planetary movements.
Right.
And then there's this narrative, the StoryScope, called the fault line. It really grounds these big forces in a human story. So our mission really is to show you how this cosmic push for honesty is playing out right now.
Forcing confrontations with past choices, yeah. And maybe secrets we thought were buried deep.
Precisely.
Oh.
Things coming to the surface.
Okay, let's unpack this. And just before we jump in, I want to acknowledge our source material. It's rooted in the great work from Tarot by High C over at tarotbyike.net. Really clear roadmap they've laid out.
Agreed.
So let's start with the immediate heat, that high-pressure dynamic. If relationships feel like high-stakes poker this week, this is probably why.
Yeah, that obsessive feeling or that sudden, intense focus on a partnership, that's likely it.
Part 1, the immediate heat. Venus square Pluto.
Venus square Pluto, that is definitely high stakes. Venus is what you value, right? Love, money, alliances.
Beauty, connection.
And Pluto, that's deep transformation, power, secrets, the hidden stuff. When they clash like this in a square aspect, the friction is, well, it can be explosive.
So the sources say relationships, alliances, they're seeing major shifts.
Huge shifts.
Yep.
And there's this internal drive, this feeling that pushes you further and deeper to get what you want from someone or something.
Almost obsessive, like you said.
And it comes with risk. What's interesting, I think, is how fast that need for truth, for getting to the bottom of things, can morph into a power struggle, a fight for control.
Right.
This transit just speeds up the uncovering process, boom, explosively, often. And the sources explicitly warn this might not be the ideal time for a gentle heart-to-heart.
Right, because things can just easily get blown out of proportion.
Exactly. You ask about dinner plans.
And suddenly you're arguing about the mortgage and childhood trauma.
Precisely the kind of rapid escalation. The core tension is that drive for truth, which we need, fundamentally bumping right up against the urge for control.
And that search for truth is pretty much guaranteed to uncover discomforting secrets, isn't it? Things someone's been hiding.
Definitely. Secrets you've suppressed, maybe, or your partner has, or it's buried in a business deal. The real danger is what happens next, that temptation towards manipulation, possessiveness, even coercion to keep the upper hand.
So how do you tell the difference between wanting honesty, which sounds good, and wanting domination, which sounds destructive? Does the source say it's even possible right now?
Well, it takes extreme self-awareness. That's the key. This transit finds the weak spot, the crack in the foundation of any alliance. It's like a universal stress test.
So you find out what you really value, but under intense pressure.
Exactly. The positive path. Use that deep diving energy to ask yourself honestly, what do I need to let go of? Old patterns, fears, those security blankets. What needs releasing for genuine connection?
Okay.
But the second you cling to power or possessions because you're scared of losing them, that's when the explosion happens. The sources are crystal clear. Any power struggle simmering under the surface, they're boiling over now. And they won't be subtle.
Wow. Okay, so that's the immediate explosive energy. But it's hitting alongside something much slower, deeper, right? This Uranus retrograde in Taurus.
Yes, exactly. This isn't a quick flare-up. This is a long burn. Uranus retrograde in Taurus starts now, November 7th, and runs right through to April 25th next year.
Months. So this is like deep structural work, foundational stuff.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Uranus retrograde always makes us review the past, and the sources are specific. We're revisiting major themes that first kicked off between 2018 and 2024.
Okay, why those years? What's the link?
You have to think about the planets involved. Uranus, that's the planet of sudden change, disruption, revolution, shock.
Great Awakener.
Right. And Taurus, that's fixed Earth. It governs our material world, money, resources, physical comfort, our basic sense of security, what feels solid.
So when Uranus first blasted into Taurus back in 2018, it was designed to shake up all the things we thought were unshakable. Savings, careers, maybe even tech we rely on.
And Taurus hates being rushed. It wants slow and steady. But Uranus demands radical, sudden shifts. It's inherently destabilizing for Taurus
So
energy.
the retrograde now is what? Making us sit with the results of that initial shockwave.
Exactly. It's review time. The source mentions specific things like financial shifts that keep happening, career paths hitting weird roadblocks, or even those persistent tech glitches that drive you crazy.
Okay.
And it says these aren't just random annoyances, they're symptoms. They're rooted in old insecurities about stability, stuff from that 2018-2024 period.
So the universe is basically saying, okay, that thing that got shaken up back then,
Yeah.
did you actually fix the foundation or did you just patch it over out of fear?
That's the core of it. You're being pushed to redefine what security actually means to you by breaking down this stubborn resistance to change that's just based on clinging to how things were, the status quo.
It's like if you lost your stable job in 2019 and grabbed the first thing that came along just to feel safe, even if it wasn't right. This retrograde is shining a big spotlight on that choice now, saying, is this really sustainable?
Mm-hmm. The central question becomes, are you clinging to what feels familiar, even if it's shaky, or are you actually building something designed to last, something truly resilient?
So what's the alternative then, if we can't just react quickly?
This is where the source gets really direct. It says, moving fast and breaking things is unsustainable. That whole tech world mantra, it doesn't work here.
Doesn't work for long-term security.
No. The energy of Uranus and Taurus demands the opposite. It's saying, slow down, check the ground you're standing on, make sure it's actually solid before you build higher.
Okay, so if fast isn't the answer and we're looking back for months, how do we move forward at all?
We have to slow down and create. That's the instruction. It means being responsible, being genuinely caring about the foundations we're building or rebuilding.
And willing to compromise, it sounds like. Maybe give up some immediate feeling of security for something better long-term.
Exactly. Evolving steadily, not suddenly. It's about building integrity. And the payoff, according to the source, is profound freedom. Freedom that comes from letting go of outdated traditions or definitions of security.
So we can be open to new ways of thinking, new insights that are apparently coming over the next 7 years.
That's the idea. If your definition of security is stuck in the past, this retrograde will force an update. Either you do it consciously or circumstances might force it upon you.
Here's where it gets really interesting. We've got the fast, hot-pressure Venus-Pluto, secrets control, and the slow, deep grind Uranus retrograde structural review. Now, the StoryScope, the fault line, shows us where they collide.
Right. Mara and Theo's story. It perfectly illustrates these energies. Mara, she is that status quo Uranus wants us to examine.
How so?
Well, for 6 years, she very deliberately built this life based on stability. Same job, same apartment, same partner, predictable, safe, or so she thought.
But
the source notes the relationship itself had become this terrain of half-truths and uneasy silences. That's the Pluto dynamic. The secret's already eating away at the structure from within.
And the trigger, the first tremor, is actually a tech issue, right? That Uranus and Taurus signature.
Spot on. She's updating software on Theo's old tablet and boom, discovers an encrypted folder labeled 2018 Reset.
Oof, 2018 again.
That tech glitch isn't random. It's the universe manifesting physical instability, a crack in the digital foundation to mirror and challenge her internal sense of security.
And 2018. The source emphasizes why that year is so key for Mara, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That was her personal breaking point. Major layoffs at her company, her mother passed away unexpectedly, and then a flood literally washed away her journals, her past. It was a year of foundational loss.
A year she decided to just forget and rebuild from quickly, out of fear.
Precisely. And finding that folder confirms it. The universe is dragging that unprocessed foundational trauma right back up. The retrograde demands that shaky foundation be looked at. No more pretending.
And as soon as that Pluto secret starts to emerge, the relationship shifts into that Venus-Pluto power struggle we talked about.
Immediately. The source says every conversation becomes a test. Who gives in? Who stands firm? But it wasn't about strength.
It was about fear, both holding on because they were scared of letting go of the familiar, even if it was clearly broken.
Exactly. Holding on out of fear. And the story cleverly mirrors their internal state with the external world. The city around them is unstable, markets fluctuating, power grids flickering, instability everywhere.
Until the climax, during a citywide blackout. Perfect symbolism.
Perfect. They're forced onto the rooftop, nowhere else to go, and Mara finally says a thing that needs saying.
Yeah, that line is powerful.
Yeah.
I don't think we can keep pretending this works. We're holding on to something because we're afraid to start again. That's the Uranus retrograde theme right there.
Directly. Clinging to stability built from fear, not strength.
And then there's that sound.
Yes. As they're talking, this hum beneath the city swells up. Deep, resonant, the sound, the source says, of tectonic plates shifting. It's literal and metaphorical.
Signaling this need for a global spiritual renovation.
And Mara realizes the tremor, the instability, maybe it was meant to show us what needs to change. It wasn't just happening to them, it was happening for them. A catalyst.
Wow. So it validates that external chaos often pushes us toward necessary internal shifts.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, stepping back from Mara and Theo, the combined message here from Venus square Pluto and Uranus retrograde, it's really about completely reframing security.
How so?
True security, it seems, isn't what we cling to stubbornly because it's familiar or out of fear. It's what survives the quake.
What has actual integrity in its foundation, not just the appearance of stability.
Precisely. It's not about the familiar structure, it's about the strength of what lies beneath.
It's really striking how this deep dive connects the dots. Even small things, a tech glitch, like Mara's tablet or an awkward silence or market jitters, they're not random.
No, they're symptoms. Symptoms of an outdated definition of security, often rooted years back, especially in that 2018-2024 period we keep mentioning.
Now, this spiritual renovation the source talks about, it requires brutal honesty, doesn't it? And rebuilding carefully, not just reacting in panic.
Exactly. So you, listening right now, you're being asked to slow down, to really examine the structures you built or choices you made between 2018 and 2024.
Those foundations, financial, relational, professional, were they built solidly to last? Or were they maybe quick fixes put up in response to chaos or fear back then?
That's the core question. If you want to navigate the next 6 months, this retrograde period, with intention, you have to be honest about what needs shoring up or maybe even dismantling and rebuilding.
So what does this all mean for you? It sounds like you're holding the key to your own encrypted folder right now. The pressure's on.
The challenge is getting past that immediate Venus-Pluto urge to control the outcome, to dominate the situation.
And instead, embracing compromise and that slower, more responsible creation process as the actual path forward.
That seems to be the only sustainable way, according to these sources. Every secret that comes out, every structure that feels shaky right now, it's actually an opportunity to build something stronger, more honest, more real on the other side.
This has been definitely an intense but really insightful look at how these cosmic energies are demanding foundational truth from us. Thank you for sharing these sources for the deep dive.
My pleasure. And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with, really building on what we've discussed from the source material. If the universe is dragging secrets, past failures, shaky foundations back to the surface right now, how much courage does it really take, not just to face the truth of those flaws,
but to actually do the work?
Yes. To accept that rebuilding steadily, piece by piece, with care, rather than just breaking things quickly or patching them over again, might actually be the most revolutionary act you can perform right now.